Welcome to the Not Old Better Show. I'm Paul Vogelsang, and this is episode number 292. Hi, this is Paul Vogelsang, host of the Not Old Better Show. You've got the right place at the right program. And today's show is in conjunction with my ongoing work with Mary Furlong and Associates. Along with Mary Furlong, I attended the It's Never Too Late Startup Business Pitch Competition at AARP, the American Association of Retired Persons, Innovation Labs in Washington, D.C. recently. This was a unique event, an event that features the leading edge startups from across the country. The startups pitch their ideas that will shape the future of how we all age regarding health, wealth, and self-solutions. The AARP Innovation Labs are committed to engaging the best and the brightest startups to identify challenges and solve big issues that impact us all as we age. Of course, the innovation part of the name Innovation Labs has a long history at AARP. AARP was built on innovation and has always worked toward developing solutions that create opportunity and solve problems for people 55 plus in age. It's part of the DNA at AARP. Additionally, AARP has long recognized the longevity economy, the economic opportunity that America's older population represents, and AARP has actively encouraged product developers and marketers to respond to this longevity economy with solutions focused on interest and needs of people age 55 plus. While at the event, I spoke to all the participants, and in today's installment, we're speaking with the MyWoundDoctor.com team, CEO Daniel Heneghan, COO David Owen, and Loretta Sullivan of Clinical Services Departments. Working to provide a new type of wound care treatment in the home, My Wound Doctor is a healthcare solution developed to help people treat and heal from chronic wounds through telehealth wound care management services. According to the MyWoundCare.com team, they know that family caregivers and those they care for are looking for timely medical advice and empowering tools to better address patient needs and improve care. My Wound Doctor serves physicians, hospitals, health plans, and patients with integrated and cost-reducing telehealth wound care applications and services. Offering mobile imaging of wounds and expert wound care advice, My Wound Doctor supports patients with personalized wound care, enabling them to heal faster and more affordably. The business model is sound. Long considered to be an acute care cost problem, costs for treating patients with chronic wounds in outpatient settings are increasing as hospitals shift patient care to dedicated hospital-based outpatient departments. MyWoundCare.com is a healthcare product and service innovation who has followed the money as the market experiences increasing value-based purchasing by payers. The My Wound Care plan follows a more collaborative wound care management team approach, a team who will lead, support, and measure the effectiveness of coordinated wound care across both acute and post-acute settings, thereby driving outpatient costs down. Dan Heneghan from My Wound Doctor, welcome to the program.
Yes, thank you, Paul. Delighted to be here.
Good to talk to you, and good to talk to your group, too. Why don't you introduce, because we're here at the AARP Innovation Labs. You've got a booth here. We're going to talk a little bit about what you're doing and what My Wound Doctor is all about, but introduce your team.
Sure. David Owen is our Chief Operating Officer.
Good morning. How are you?
Good to talk to you.
Loretta Sullivan directs all of our clinical services.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah, so in short, what we're doing is we're providing a telehealth-assisted wound care management solution to customers. And so people who have chronic wounds normally, if they're homebound, don't have access to expertise. And so certainly working with the patient's physician and then working with the patient themselves or the caregivers, we enable them to take a picture of the wound, and then the clinical team will diagnose what to do with the wound, and then actually develop a protocol and create a supply pack of wound supplies that actually support the care for that wound, and then we'll send that directly to the patient or to the caregiver or the home care team so that the patient has the best chance to heal. So the combination of a technology platform, a clinical team, and then working with large companies who have lots of Medicare Advantage population that they're managing. So that's what we do.
So my audience is going to be interested in the photos themselves. From a privacy standpoint, where do those end up? What happens to them, and might they be shared? And
Sure,
David
we have.
Owen, Chief Operating Officer.
Yes.
Okay.
So we have an app. You can download it today from the Google Play Store or Apple Store, and it is HIPAA compliant. All the data is encrypted on the device and end-to-end in transport. So when you take a picture with the app, you can't look it up in your photo albums. It's encrypted and sent over the internet to our cloud.
Is it associated with my username? Is it associated with my email address?
Yeah, well, it's associated with, you have a username and we have a two-step authentication password. It's up to date in terms of security.
Yeah, I'm sure that's a big issue for you. I'm sure that's a big HIPAA compliance.
It was a very important requirement, but luckily it's not an issue because we have it addressed.
Needed to address it quickly and got it done. So tell us a little bit about your own personal experiences. Dan, maybe I'll start with you. Do you have family that has experienced something like this that was in need? It's always a good thing to have my audience hear a personal story. Any of you maybe have a personal story to share about something that's related?
Sure, yeah. I would say that my family, I have an 86-year-old dad who lives alone, and his health care has been compromised because of cardiac-related issues, and his opportunity to sort of self-treat is not going to help him, and so he has moved to a location where none of the family are around him, and so being able to communicate with caregivers that are there to ask what's going on with him and what are his daily needs. I sort of understand that since I can't really see him, that I need to have tools to be able to support what Dad's up to. And
so those tools, apologize for interrupting, so those tools are shared amongst the family members, so you get a chance to see it as a son, and you're...
Exactly. So if, for example, if Dad did have chronic wounds, and so fortunately he doesn't, then really the platform that we have built does support having access to that for those who would have, as David just described, who would have a HIPAA-compliant reason to look at the information. So in short, distributing access to information within the family is certainly an important part of what any platform should do, but we need to make sure, as you've already asked, that things all are compliance-driven.
Of course. So, Loretta, what stage are you involved in? How does the photo comes in, it first stops at you, I assume,
Yes.
then you triage to a provider at that point and interface with that provider?
When the photo comes in, then I consult with our medical director or one of the doctors on the team, and then we, decide what the wound needs specifically to heal. And so then I will message the provider and tell them what we recommend, and then a supply pack will be sent out, and it's a 2-day delivery, and it's for 2 weeks with instructions how to do things. And of course they can get in touch with us as much as they want. Like, we don't charge for pictures.
The provider can get in touch with you.
Yes, the provider, if the patient has downloaded the app, it depends on the situation. They can get in touch with us. They can send us as many pictures as they want. So questions, concerns, anything.
So, David, Owen, and Dan, for you both, what's the monetization plan? Is CMS currently offering a code for this? How are you guys taking this kind of to the next level?
Yeah, Paul, it's a good question. A couple things. One is certainly the Medicare, CMS has coding that does support reimbursement for things like medical supplies that are part of a very specific specialized care plan. So our supplies would support coding-based reimbursement. And then there is telehealth coding that exists, but frankly, that's not really our focus. Our business model really is to work with those health plans that have a capitated or at-risk arrangement, for example, with Medicare Advantage, or even prison healthcare companies also have really capitated plans, and they just pay us on a flat case rate basis. So it's like a bundled payment where we'll keep an eye on a patient's wound for about 4 weeks just to stabilize the wound and move it towards healing, and they'll pay us one flat fee for the clinical consult and a flat fee for the wound care supplies.
Great, thank you for that. So I know you guys are busy. One final question. How's the business going so far, and what do you hope to get out of your day here at the AARP Innovation Labs?
Well, I'd say that in short, we're thrilled to be here. Anytime you're with a community of people that are coming up with ideas for solutions for the elderly, that's the population that we're going to be serving. So it's exciting to be part of this. And I'm thrilled with where the company is. We've been blessed to have customers who actually are paying the bills. And our view is that we have more and more cases now that we're demonstrating that the process of seeing the wound, giving the clinical insights on how to take care of the wound, having a process to get wound care supplies out there that's much more scalable. We're executing on that right now, and so for us it's really just a matter of being introduced to more health plans who really have populations of patients they want us to help. So that's really our goal.
Great. Well, Dan, David, Loretta, thanks so much for your time today. I really appreciate it. Anything I forgot? Anything I missed?
Thank you, Paul. Okay. It's wonderful to be here. Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks for joining me and Mary Furlong and Associates for our recap of the recent AARP Innovation Labs It's Never Too Late to Start Up Business Pitch Competition. Stay tuned for the rest of our series, during which we interview each of the participants, including event winner, Embodied Labs CEO, Carrie Shaw. Check out each one. These are some cool new startups focused on aging. Thanks, everybody.